Hello, hello, Hidden Hermit here, and it's okay, it's alright. We're looking at the Five of Cups from the Waite Smith here, and the Five of Cups it's a sad card. It really is. It's oh dear, that that sense of boredom and stagnation from the four gets carried over into the five, and it really is I don't know, it's a nasty card, really. Well, I say nasty, but it obviously has lessons to us. So, lessons for us, excuse me. So, what do we see here? We see a person, we don't know their gender, it doesn't actually matter. We see a person, they're dressed in a rather harsh black cloak, head is bowed, looking off towards the distance or maybe at this flowing water stream here. He's definitely in his field of vision. He can see these three cups that are overturned, and importantly, he's got his back turned to the two cups here. There is some sort of homestead or structure in the background. Whether or not that's important, I don't know. But with the Waite Smith, you do need to take in the whole image. I think there may be some sort of message there that you might not be thinking about. I think the bridge is also really important in the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is the card of disappointment. Maybe he's accidentally kicked over these cups and he can't quite deal with that. But yeah, so you definitely get an air of sadness, of loss, and of loneliness. This person's on their own. Now, I can't help but have a heavy heart when the Five of Cups comes out, and you do really need to look to the right of this guy or woman to bring forth a bit of hope. Now, all the fives have that a sense of conflict or worry, but there's always a little bit of hope in them as well. I think that's with all the fives in all the pips, absolutely. And the Five of Pentacles has a sense of hope. The Five of Wands has that kind of flip sense that maybe it's quite it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about the Five of Wands. And the Five of Swords is yeah, again, there is a flip side to it that might suggest that there is a way forward. And in the Five of Cups, not only do you have the two upright cups, all this person has to do is turn around and realize that actually all is not lost. And this bridge is important as well. This bridge over troubled waters, and that's one of the ways that I like to associate. That's how I used to remember the keywords for the Five of Cups back in the day, the bridge over troubled waters, because this really is troubled waters, isn't it? But there is always a bridge. There is always a way to get to this homestead, to get on top of that battlement there. Maybe that was the view from, say, the Two of Wands. Who knows? Who knows? Also, it's important to note that the colours of the liquids that have been spilled by these three cups, one could very well be water, and one could very well be wine or blood. So again, depending on the spread, that's going to be potentially a factor. The Five of Wands comes out reverse. Now, this is interesting. I think again, all reversals need to be read intuitively, depending on the spread, I believe. But there are two schools of thought. I think when you read up on the reversal for the Five of Cups, some people say, "Yay, it's all good." There's a sense of moving on from this sense of sadness. It might mean forgiveness and hope returns and a little bit of recovery, perhaps. A bit of acceptance, so accepting the situation. I quite like that feeling. You've got this loss, you've got this disappointment, you're wallowing in the upright five, and maybe when the five comes up reversed, you're actually accepting that loss, and you're ready to move on. Also, some people suggest that the Five of Cups reverse is just even deeper. Maybe this sadness is not just sadness, this is outright depression. This is a pit that quite easily be insurmounted. You're going to need to seek some outside help. It's a very bleak way of putting at it. Perhaps it's because these two upright cups are now overturned, so all five cups are now overturned. I think that's perhaps where that line of thinking comes from. But the Five of Cups is enough to deal with, I think. But having that really bleak outlook of just outright depression You know, even, dare I say it, thoughts of, you know, suicide maybe. That could be the bleakest way of looking at the Five of Cups. But I personally, you know, when you evaluate some of the different meanings, I like this idea of acceptance. So that the sadness has not moved on, the disappointment, the worry, it hasn't quite gone, but yeah, you're starting to deal with it. You know, you're starting to turn that corner a little bit. Astrologically, I think it's important that this is Mars in Scorpio. So Scorpio with its depth of feeling, Scorpio with that either bravery or idiocy of really examining the depths of the human psyche, is joined by Mars that gives it a little bit of force. It opens up all sorts of different aspects to the card, but I think I'm gonna leave it there before I start crying. But the Five of Cups is a powerful card, and it is potentially one of the saddest cards in the whole of the tarot deck. It deserves to be. You can't brush over the Five of Cups. No way. You can't just skip to the end. It has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. Otherwise, things could get stagnant. I've just noticed I've left the Four of Cups here. That's ridiculous, isn't it? The presentation is incomplete. There you go. Is that better? Well, not really. It's the Five of Cups. Anyway, so that's the Five of Cups from the Waite Smith.